masu ekarasu nibataye Chekira Bulipa Taye Samunta Charyasu Gaye Vetasana Bhikkulaye Sakari Dukkana Mantari Vai Tana Paranihi Sana Makata Kelenam Sambarata Meka Chantapa Surya Bhata Raipa Shanapa Ranabitisa Guru Lapa Masmin Sagulitaya Pa Gura Gura Sagakanalam Narayita Patalam Sirna Sirna Desa Raspalam Bunda Bunda Chiksha Sakelam Sa Sa Riri. Lili. E. E. Me. Me. Ra. 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 The song of the Vajra. Unborn, yet continuing without interruption, neither coming nor going, omnipresent, supreme Dharma, immutable space beyond definition, spontaneously self-liberating, perfect state without any obstruction, existent from the very beginning, self-created without location, with nothing negative to reject, nothing positive to accept, infinite expanse, all-pervading, immense and limitless, unbound, with nothing even to dissolve or from which to be liberated, present beyond space and time, existent from the beginning, immense dimension of inner space. The radiance of clarity is like the sun and moon, self-perfected as the indestructible Vajra, as stable as a mountain, as pure as a lotus, strong as a lion, incomparable bliss beyond all limits, illumination, equanimity, peak of the Dharma, light of the universe, perfect since the very beginning.
Thank you so much. Very, very beautiful. That's a chant that Nam K. Norvo would always begin practices with and teachings with. And he so completely urged everyone always to integrate everything into that field of awareness. And we may be talking a little bit about that today. First, welcome everybody. And let's extend through our bodies. Embodying awareness. Awareness awakens its own self, even our own bodies, huh? After having taken that step of embodying more or less, we'll extend to the immediacy of our situation, huh? Which is us. We'll extend that awareness, that field of light. Inside to inside. Directly. And that's really true. Two awarenesses are better than one. With each of these extensions, the embodiment takes place. And then we'll extend to the ancestors, the mothers and the fathers, and the mothers and the fathers, of whom you and I are expressions. We'll extend to them in mutual support. The light meeting the light. Not forgotten. We also extend to our friends on the Zoom. Or as it said in the Yeshe Lama, the inner yin meets the outer yin. The inner fields, they meet. Ultimately, there's only one field, but experientially, that gesture is really useful. And then we'll extend to all the great yogis and teachers, gurus we've met, those people who personify and embody the field so completely that the invisible becomes visible, felt, sense, resonance. We mingle our minds with them. And there's more energy. And then we'll extend to that dimension of awareness, our own awareness, which is so mysterious, ineffable, archetypal energies, vortexes, manifesting everything and anything. The deities, devas, dakinis. We invoke the dakini as the Divine Mother, the trauma, luminous darkness, gnosis. So let's just remain like this for a while. We'll just sit. Sometimes I like reading text, though it can really be boring also. But when reading a text with the understanding that you're not just mumbling words or thoughts, but you actually are mingling your awareness with the author who's behind the words, behind the text, and who comes through the text, through that field, mingling. And that understanding, there's a aliveness that can take place for us. So I'm going to read, like I did a few days ago, weeks ago, some called Elaborated Instructions by Dzogchen Lingpa. And as you guys know, Dzogchen Lingpa was a great, great Dzogchen master in the 19th century. Actually came into the 20th century and died at, I think, 1910, something like that. And then he also reincarnated as Dzogchen Rinpoche, and the Dzogchen lineage came from him. And he wrote many texts. He was quite a character, kind of a fierce person. Lived in all the different realms. Sambhogakaya realm. Had a great sense of protectiveness. Compassion is protection. And he wrote a number of texts, many. And one was called Buddhahood Without Meditation, or more refining perception. Then he dies, and then he reincarnates, and then he edits the book in this life. He's a determined person. And it's a very text called Refined Perception and Popular Buddhahood Without Meditation, which means that awareness goes beyond the meditative moment, which we'll be talking about today. And then also, one of his descendants is, I have a little up there a note about him. We'd be giving it empowerment of that text and teaching someplace in California. But we may have him come here sometime too and have some more Dzogchen Lingpa teachings here, the Nyingma tradition. So let's lean into each other. If you lean into me, I will give a better talk. It's true. And it begins this way. Do not lose your sense of luminous awareness, open awareness. And that's the basic admonition. Don't lose the sense of luminous awareness, open awareness. He also, like in that text, would say, do not, when you stop a meditation, do not lose the open awareness. Do not close up so completely. Can you feel that? Sustaining that primordial openness. Then he says, thoughts are movements within awareness. Thoughts are movements within awareness. And that which understands is called awareness. That understanding, awareness understands. Then, a little comma, non-conceptual knowingness. This thought-free knowingness, understanding. And then he says, remaining in this awareness is called stillness. Never be separated from these three. Movement within the vast stillness. Stillness within the vast movement. And direct knowingness, gnosis, jnana, non-conceptual knowingness. We'll just do that for a few moments. Then he continues. We'll be mingling ourselves with his mind, with this awareness. Your own awareness is the ground of the whole of samsara nirvana. The awareness I'm speaking from and the awareness you're hearing this, your own awareness is the ground of the whole of samsara nirvana. Wow. Your own awareness is the field of potentiality. Potential space. Source. There he says it there. Your own awareness as source is empty, openness. The locatedness of awareness is timeless. Timeless awareness. Your awareness has no destination. Awareness is. Completely is. Your essence as awareness has no form. And the nature of this emptiness, this openness, is luminous and self-revealing, self-illuminating, and self-knowing. And he's saying here, your awareness is the guru. Your awareness is neither one nor many. And everything and anything is absorbed into this awareness. And is emanated from this awareness. You can think of that both macrocosmically as primordial awareness, manifesting everything and anything, and then located in time and space, this timeless awareness as you, and you're emanating all sorts of everything and anythings. It's the way it is. Then he says this, even though in this tradition you often differentiate your mind from awareness to begin with, and then you integrate your mind. That's just a technique, a gesture actually. So he says this, do not regard the mind and pristine awareness as two different things. The mind reflects something, And the mind is the manifestation of awareness. Wow. My mind is the manifestation of awareness. Everything of this thinking, feeling, sensation, manifestation. Too much yogurt here. Observing, sorry, observing, very important, observing one thought after another thought is not the path. Observing one thought after another thought is not the path. Witness consciousness is not the path. Sustaining your own consciousness of luminosity and pristine awareness, sustaining your experience of and within pristine awareness is the path. Sustaining the experience of and within pristine awareness is the path. Pristine awareness. Your own awareness is ground awareness. Wow. Your own awareness is the ground of being. Your own awareness is being itself. This is the secret path of the Dakinis. So meditate on awareness within awareness, relaxing in the all-pervading pure ground, Kadik, pure field, unbound field. Whatever arises, whatever is experienced is released into the great expanse of the field. This is called path awareness. Through the absence of mental activity, ultimate reality is recognized and experienced. Through awareness and awareness alone, there is the dissolution of hope and fear, the dissolution of affirmation and negation. Everything arises from within this space of awareness and dissolves into the space of awareness. And this is the natural primordial awareness, the nature of divinity. Experience the nature, experience the effortless nature of being that is free of all the extremes and free of coming and free of going. Free of appearing, free of disappearing. The primordial consciousness of awareness is like the sun shining into the pristine sky, unmodified and natural. Your awareness of your own awareness awakens you into the essential nature of the ground of self-luminous beingness. Natural liberation is the metaphor of the sun and its rays, awareness and its radiance. The ground of being has the capacity to give rise to the whole of samsara nirvana, just as a mirror has the capacity to give rise to all the reflections and expressions and manifestations. The whole of phenomena is composed of natural, creative manifestations of the ground, which in their essential nature are primordially and completely manifest. In time they manifest, and in time they disappear. In time they reappear and re-disappear. Appearances which are released into the essential nature itself. Appearances which are released into the essential nature itself. Release of their own accord and dissolve into the primordial womb. The matrix, Know that this metaphor is like the waves which subside in the ocean. Space is the expanse of awareness. All appearances is the expanse of space. And this little text is found in a text by Alan Wallace translating it. And I forget the name, but it's called something like Mud and Sticks or something like that. Mud and... It's a text in this. Let's focus in a little bit. Now I'm going to read another text. Let's extend to each other. And this is from Longchenpa. And he's quoting from a tantric text called The Mirror of the Heart. Uncontrived phenomenal existence is the Dharmakaya. Take delight within the enlightened awareness of uncreated wisdom. Uncontrived elements of the Sambhogakaya. Take delight within the basic space of uncontrived colors, the rays. Uncontrived sentient beings are the Nirmanakaya, and within that, the unceasing expanse is uncontrived compassion. The uncontrived alaya, like place, is exaltation, and within that, the expanse of space is uncontrived awareness. Natural wisdom is perfectly pure and non-dual as uncontrived emptiness, openness. This is the expanse of uncontrived self-emergent awareness. The uncontrived nature of mind is awareness, and within that, uncontrived mental events are the very light of wisdom. The uncontrived movement of thoughts is the intrinsic nature of light. Uncontrived sentient beings are actually Buddhas, and uncontrived ignorance is actually awareness. The uncontrived poisons are the five wisdoms. Now from another text, from Dzogchen Lingpa, the sole essence of clear light, and is primarily in the Togo gazing practices. And all of this is ultimately gazing with or without our eyes closed. Here we go. Stainless, luminous essence. In the heart, we'll extend to each other. In the heart, where the luminosity abides as the ground, is a bindu, the point, dot, of light, like a peacock's egg. It's like the blue pearl, indicating the presence of nature, intrinsic nature, and compassion. And from that, light waves radiate, invoking the awakened awareness of all the victorious ones and their heirs who reside in the limitless pure lands in all the directions. And arising as an inexhaustible or vortex of enlightened body, speech, and mind, qualities and activities like massing clouds, they arrive and they dissolve into your body, your mind, your speech, and in particular, into the secret path of wisdom. This bindu of the ground, Samattabhadra of the heart, source. Phenomenal existence awakens as the nature of the kayas and wisdoms. Resting is the instruction. Resting in this nature as much as possible is the method. Then, through the practice of gazing, placing the radiance of awareness, resting in the mandala of pure light, free of our mind's acceptance, free of our mind's rejection, hope, fear, is the evenness of gnosis. This method is to take the path of knowledge as the entire world as the pure land of space. So actively, all beings are the manifestations of the Dakinis. At all times, in all situations, never depart from this state of ineffable, unfabricated awareness. Never leave it. And to internalize this path of the indivisibility of method and awareness. You do it for 1 month. 1 month. And you will bring stability. Into your life. One more reading from Dzogchen Lingpa. Knowing that awareness naturally arises as radiance is the innermost crucial point for not mistaking awareness to be externally or internally independent. And what he says, knowing this, what he's saying in this is that the awareness that's arising within, simultaneously, the awareness is arising through what we call without. The one awareness is manifesting everything and anything at this moment. Although it is a supreme crucial point to know that this dynamic strength of space and awareness mingle inseparably. If one apprehends space externally and awareness internally, and hence presumes the inseparability simply means the coalescence of the inner and outer. you will dualistically experience awareness, which it's not. You guys follow that? Then he says, well then listen, this is my sacred final testament for those who are vessels for these teachings, these experiences. And when directly encountering the Buddha of self-originating awareness, the Buddha is awareness, it's nowness, trust in yourself to abide in the uncontrived nature. And when viewing the dynamic strength of the purity and the evenness of samsara and enlightenment, experience how entering the path is free from fixation, fixatedness. And when experiencing the fundamental nature of the great perfection, the great completeness, as it is, trust in this alone, without searching for the Buddha, or cause, or effect elsewhere. And when experiencing the magnificent appearance of the clear light, and recognize, own the process of immediate self-liberation, and be free from the restrictions of endless graspingness. And since from the very first moment of arising within you, the clear light has been the radiance of self-occurring awareness, self-manifesting awareness. And understand that the key point of abiding is to relax without focus upon this nature. And since words and their meanings involve characteristics, when the profound instructions that are free of characteristics are brought to the path of explanation, using words to explain, this is like trying to know the mountains closest to you by looking at the mountains in a distant valley. Be skillful in knowing this key point. Almost done. Even though instructions tell you to focus on pure awareness, do not confuse the focus conscious intellect, frontal cortex, with natural resting in the fundamental nature as it is. Do not confuse the focus conscious intellect with the natural resting in fundamental nature as it is. And since all of the appearances of clear light are the self-radiance of your own clarity, know the key points. We'll just sit for a few minutes. We having fun? Now, just some more reading from Longchenpa in a moment. Sometimes, if you're a very good meditator, a person who can become aware of their awareness, become aware of the nature of mind, use that form of language. And you become aware of that. And you're highly disciplined. You start at a certain time, you end at a certain time. You even have the right posture and all that. And you focus. And you enter into this awareness. And you experience space. And you experience the lightness. And openness. Presence. Bliss. Freedom. And then you end your meditation, you get up, and you leave that place. Not the physical place, because you and I are a place. Human beings are places. Awareness is a place. Personal awareness is a place in time and space, manifesting. And we get up and we leave that place, and off we go. Do you know that experience? Yes. That, a la Dzogchen Lingpa, is a grievous mistake. It's really tricky. Best you can have a really formal ending, formal closings, super closings, do a lot of closing. I'm serious. I don't know if you've had this experience. This may be totally irrelevant to most of you. So you really close, and you're highly contained, and you have space, and you have energy, and then you get up, and you walk into breakfast. There's breakfast, there's a table, it's there, you eat it, but everything is separate from this place. That is a grievous mistake. Buddhahood without meditation. Here, now I'm going around. Oh, then you see people. Hey. Hi. Moving ahead. Very functional. Good to see you, Marla. But it's all contained, sealed. And upon a second look, you might experience that in a certain way, as strange as it may sound, my mind isn't in here either. My mind is outside of this experience. My mind is not in this place. My mind's here. So paradoxically, I'm not dissociated in a certain way. My awareness is not dissociated from awareness, but my mind is. So here's my mind. Same mind as it's always been. Undaunted, uninfluenced. True, uninfluenced. And my mind's a pain in my ass. It drives me crazy. So I can't wait to get back to meditation. Excuse me. Wow, thank God. Okay, over, up, see you, back. Same people, same functionality, interpersonally skilled functionality. Oops. Oh God, this is mine. Past is the same. Present is the same in mind. Thin experience of mind, of here. This is now background, and my mind is now foreground. Am I just talking to myself? You guys ever feel this? Ever? Mind I'm in my mind now again. And I love meditation, and I am good at meditation. Now, sometimes it seeps up a little bit. I might even be good at doing mantras too. It's here. And nothing comes in here. I'm not letting, none of you are coming in. Nothing comes in. You're out there, I'm here. And I like it. I'm uncontaminated, thank you. I'm uncontaminated by you. I'm pure, clean, well wiped. But incomplete. And what could be happening is not happening. What could be happening for me is not happening. So the challenge to integrate my mind, this mess, this historical mess, into this awareness is foreclosed, thank you. To death do us part, maybe. Death has an appeal at this moment, right? 'Cause it's rather barren, frankly speaking. Nice. Here we are. I think I'll get some self-help books on how to relate to people, maybe. Go to therapy. But separate. Separate, still separate. Separate. Not non-dual, separate. Separate. So start to integrate my mind, my thinking, every feeling, just the good ones, love, just good ones, yes. Every feeling, hatred, disgust, fucked up group. To integrate everything, every sensation, not just this, just the good smells. Everything, to integrate everything into this awareness. Is not easy because I am profoundly concerned with contaminating pure awareness. I'm a Brahmin, to use that language. I am profoundly trying to keep this pure, simple, good dog. But I start integrating it. I start integrating my mind, and then this intensity really begins. The fire really begins. And even after I start integrating my mind, my thoughts about the world, my thoughts about you, my feelings about you, my sensations of the you-ness in this world, I'm still solipsistic. What? After all this? Because I have to take a step and integrate world in me. Just my mind alone. But I have to integrate phenomena. I have to integrate you into this awareness. Because this awareness is not just through this little body and this little head. It goes throughout everything. So I have to integrate all experience of the world into this awareness. As I start integrating this experience of the world, of you, whoever the you is and the what is, at that moment, I'm becoming liberated, really and truly. And I'm beginning to experience what it has to be a non-dualistic life. Within dualism, I'm beginning to experiencing non-dualism. And that, pardon the phrase, that schizoid structure, that dissociative structure between myself, thus true self-awareness, and the mind is being dissolved. And the structure between myself and the world, the schizoid structure, to use a little analytic jargon, is also being dissolved. And in that way, we're always wrestling with our psychologies. Raise your hands if this is making some sense, other than moi. So let's hang out for a minute. Buddhahood without meditation. You guys follow this? So I'm having to integrate in this marvelous vacation time. Meditation is vacation time. Time out for this person. Time out. Party time. Party time. Having a party, it's really fun. Space. Then suddenly. So of course, after a while, when I'm in this awareness and there's fullness in it, there's even love in it. It's like a Veta. No one else exists. Of course, there's non-duality. And so, as I start to integrate my mind, first of all, and then I start to integrate you all. I start to integrate everything and anything I'm experiencing. I'm integrating this scene in moi. I'm metabolizing the world within me. I'm not just metabolizing an effect. Say yes. You follow this? I'm metabolizing the world I'm living in. And I am really entering into the world. Or it says in the Shaivis, the bliss of samadhi is in fact the bliss of the world. Let's hang out with this. This is not easy. Who feels like being bothered, huh? Challenged. And a lot of meditators naturally like this stuff. They naturally like going into a inner self-absorbed state. Unbothered. Just smell your own smell. We'll sit for a few moments. So this is a problem, right? Do you ever have this problem? Maybe I'm the only one. So you start feeling, you've been meditating, and nothing's actually happening. You feel good. Actually, you can feel good as long as you're close to the meditative state. But other than that, it doesn't feel quite real. I'm telling you, it doesn't feel quite real. See, you're sort of over there, but I'm in witness consciousness and it's a subtle detached state. You with me? You're out there. Whew, you're out there. I'm in here. We can touch. But otherness, 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 otherness. Time to die. See you later. Maybe. The big meditation's coming now. Ah, yeah. I once was in a spiritual group. This was what do you call it, a group? Sort of a group. And the person teaching was saying, it was on death. Who wants to come back? Nobody wanted to come back. I realized at that moment, I'm in the wrong group. I don't even want to leave. I want to leave. Who wants to leave? I want to go. Woo. Let me out of here. I did. I left. we'll sit a little bit more. So, Namke Norval, great chant you sung this morning, would always focus on the necessity of integrating that beautiful Vajra, song of the Vajra, unborn, undying, pure, neither coming nor going. You have to integrate mind and integrate everything, everyone, everything into this state. But that's just an opinion. One more little entertainment. Namke Norval, this is actually on Togal in a certain way, gazing, bringing everything in as light. People would always ask him, Rinpoche, would you teach us Togo? And he said, no, Togo. Togo's far advanced for you guys. No gazing. We can't teach that to you. We're not teaching this to you. Okay. So immediately after lunch, we'd all meet out on this field. And we're all gazing. Just gazing. Because he demythologized things always. He demythologized everything. You're gazing in the sky, and you're gazing into everything and anything. Thought-free gaze. So with that, let's pair up. Another fun morning, eh? Are you following this? Are you following this? You following this? Sort of like the Immaculate Conception. Kadig. Uncontaminatedness. See, Brahmanism is not far from this stuff. You do know that, right? Historically. Brahman's not far from this. You follow what I'm talking about? Brahmanism is not far from any of this. Purity, caste, systems. Let me say it again. Brahmanism is not for. All this arose out of Indian earth. So let's focus for a minute. Perhaps clear our little minds from the mumbo jumbo. And if you mind focusing with your whole body, like Avalokiteshvara, all those eyes. And let's leave, if we can, witness consciousness. And so one way that the Gurdwara Tantra would do it, it says, please bring your mind into your heart. For many people, witness conscious is salvific. Because if you went through trauma of any type, and we're all therapists of sorts here, and even though we're always working on ourselves, when there's some trauma for us, we will love witness consciousness because witness consciousness helps preserve us through everything and anything. Say yes if you understand that. So there's a certain point, at a certain day, you have to start to give up being in witness consciousness to really have the mind-heart connection. Say yes if you guys are following this. And you may not have this, but I'm sure if you work with people, they will. Because in this society, witness consciousness is cultivated enormously because of the objectification of everything and anything. TV objectifies us into witness consciousness a lot. Say yes if that's making sense. So, you want to bring your awareness down, your mind down, and you want to deconstruct witness consciousness into awareness or gnosis. So let's gaze with each other. You're going to gaze, but I'm going to have you open your eyes because you're going to gaze. And if you don't mind, suspending your mind as you gaze. That's what's so great about being at the beach, right? Your mouth is open. You can leave your mouth open a little bit. Like, mouth open. And you're going to have round eyes. There's many ways of gazing, but these are certain instructions that I find very useful. You can, on partly Namkhai Norval's way, you soften your eyes like you're gazing into the sky first. Maybe next week we'll gaze into the darkness like we used to do for a while. And you gaze through your whole body, gazing, gazing, gazing. And if you want, if it feels too far away your eyes, you can feel the channels, the channels that go from our heart to our eyes. There'll be 2 Khatri channels, you might be able to feel that, the channel that goes from the inner heart to the eyes. And gaze in. And de-objectify the gaze. It's like not staring. So sometimes I'm gazing and I'm actually staring. The stare will have an objectifying. It's like, Sort writes about it, the person's peering, he's in a hotel, and he's peering into a hotel door, and he's peering in, and he sees someone looking at him from outside. He's objectified in that objectifying moment. So you're trying to de-objectify your gaze. Not easy. And please let yourself open your eyes. We can do this on the internet too, the Zoomers, or Zoom. We're gazing into and we're gazing through. Intersubjective, inside to inside. No thingness meets no thingness. It's very simple. Like gazing into a baby. Baby gaze has very little objectification. So we love it. Baby gaze. Baby gnosis. That's why some of the masters say, don't go beyond being 6 years old. Baby gaze. Baby gnosis. Now if you want, you can extend the field through your eyes also, because extending the field through the eyes is the most powerful way. Because paradoxically, the eyes and the heart are so connected, source. So you can extend the light through your eyes and your mouth. We're a little primal here. Whole body. And then if you can allow yourself to have the column of light move through as the gaze, because the entire column is gazing. The entire body is the embodiment of a gaze. Very beatific love. When people fall in love, this happens naturally. And then mind takes over. You having a good time right now? can put it to words. You guys having a good time on Zoom? I'm feeling really good right now. Hmm? Brahmanism is a curse. It's true. Brahmanic awareness. Untouched. Mm-hmm. And would you mind pulling the person's body into your body? And the awareness, you can just do that. You can pull from the head if you want. Or you can just lean forward. Just feel that pulling coming into, but your whole body. Awakened awareness, entering awakened awareness. One field. Dissolving, witness consciousness. Ahama. I'm always amazed that people don't meditate with each other. I think it's Brahmanism going through the generational feel. And they don't meditate with each other. As either friends or couples don't meditate with each other. No. Let's keep it clean. Kadig. Kadig gone bad. Purity gone bad. Now you can feel yourself extending to other people in the room. You can feel the non-conceptual state of awareness. He means, when he says without mental activity, he's actually referring to witness consciousness. As you guys do that, I'm going to just read a thing from Longchenpa called the Essential Instructions. This is Instruction Day, right? In the central revelation is pure Gnostic awareness, which supersedes causal conditioning and deliberate effort. So there's this view, this open view, non-conceptual view, and the surrendering to the Buddha dynamic. And Buddha simply means you're not a person, right? But awareness itself. So now we're becoming pantheists. Whatever appears in gnosis does not stir from the original face of gnosis. So whatever appears in gnosis, in this awareness, doesn't stir from the original face of gnosis. Causality and moral conditioning are superseded by the natural perfection of a single, all-encompassing instant of transparent here and nowness. Wow. I'm a thoughtless sky that is pure being, unthinking. I reject nothing. A non-judgmental mind is like space. Non-discriminatory space. I am non-discrimination. Wow. Right. And here's another great statement. In essence, this is when you shift your view from a causal view to non-causal view. In essence, there's no cause and effect, only manifestation. That means the primacy of awareness is manifesting within and without, beyond, simultaneously. There's only manifestation, only manifestation. Self-manifestation. So we're going to pause now, like we always do. We're very brief, and then we're going to describe our experience. We're going to describe our experience, okay? So I'm going to pass this microphone over to that person there. There we are. And just briefly describe your experience. Briefly.
So it was magnetic, magnetic, magnetic to, instead of magnets detracting away from each other, it was attraction to one, that draw in to the one, to the pillar, to the place, within defined structure.
Within a defined structure, yes.
Almost, like your bone structure became a solid structure.
And then what else happened?
And then it emptied, and there was pass through.
What was that transparent pass-through like for you?
I was empty. I was pass through, and it was love, pure, pure, infinite, absolute.
No, at this moment, no witness consciousness. What's it like?
Is completely free.
It's completely free.
Yet, my complete being.
Complete being.
Yeah.
And your companion?
See, in the beginning of the gaze was equally out as in.
Great. Totally cool.
And then as it continued, I don't know if I can describe it, everything became fluid.
Let me ask you one more question. What's it like for you to know, just at this moment, that understanding does not belong to your mind alone, but awareness of itself is understanding? What's it like to know that right now, if you do?
Actually, to answer the question, I almost have to leave the place I'm in.
Don't leave it. You're integrating your mind to speak it. Or you let your voice just arise naturally from that place, spontaneously, without effort. You don't have to bring your voice into your mind.
It's, again, in a particular way, it's very fluid because there aren't any set constructs.
How does that feel at this moment?
Very blissful, very freeing, and spontaneous.
Does this feel determined or indeterminate at this moment? Just that felt sense of determination or indeterminate at this moment?
Completely indeterminate.
Then you're in potential space at this moment. Thank you. Let's pass it to our visitor who's going back to Bhutan. Right there, the big guy. Okay, we visit you briefly. Oh, we just pulled the little thing out. Oh, it's okay. Let's plug it in though anyway. Okay. Keep the juice. So would briefly describing your experience?
As I felt the stillness in my own body, I was able to then also sense my partner. And the energy between us began to just commingle. And at first it was a dance. And then towards the end, it was more of a union and a togetherness, almost as if we're doing a rumba, and we're kind of warming up to it. But then it becomes more and more rhythmical.
Thank you. And your companion?
I had a similar experience that the more we stayed with it, it kept melding and shifting. And I noticed at the beginning, the gazing and softening, and it became easier and easier. And it's like I saw more layers without really looking, without intentionally looking.
Did you feel the dissolving of witness consciousness a little bit?
Yes.
What was that like?
It was so freeing.
Thank you. Let's pass this back. Someone like Lacombe, pass it back this way. Will describe you get caught in the witness. It's actually a subtle form of being paranoid. There's a witness consciousness. You may have felt this, I don't know, but there's a paranoic in it. This with the heightened objectification, and it's like you're what's it called? You're virtually, what's the word? Vigilant, and you can have still vigilance, but in dissolving that, some of the basic paranoia of our structure will drop away. Or to put another way, in Kleinian terms, the paranoid schizoid posture is dissolved at that moment. Say yes if that's making sense to the therapy types. No? Here we go. Kate and Jeff. Jeff, you could describe your experience just briefly and the immediacy of what took place.
So at first, it's sort of at a portal or a doorway, I'm still me and she's still her, and then kind of floating back and forth on the edge of that and sort of merging and then reforming. And that turned into something else where there's this sort of upsurge or huge charge of kind of valence that she carries, and I was sort of feeling myself align with it. It's very electrical and kind of going back and forth between searing and soothing.
That ceaseless energy, the arising of that ceaseless energy, that ceaseless energy is part of the very nature of primordial awareness in her manifestation. And he uses the word sizzling, you with me? Which is really a good word, because it often is a manifestation of the fire element, huh? And out of that fire element, there is a metabolization of experience. That's why the fire of awareness metabolizes everything and anything. So in the metabolization that takes place, it is not always fun. It's sort of being cooked alive in its temperaments, okay? You're baking. You're on the pot, okay? And Gunther would describe it as a voracious digestion or appetite. And so you start metabolizing mind, you start metabolizing your body, you start metabolizing what's in front of you, you start metabolizing phenomenal experience. Raise your hands if that makes sense to you. Thank you, Jeff. What's it like to feel that process still going on in you, Jeff, even at this moment?
So it does this rotation. It comes back and it kind of punches me. It's almost like there's too much crowded in one little place, and then it kind of lets up a little, and it's very kind of intoxicating then.
intoxicating in the best sense of that word, and it moves us. It's actually like a vortex of the ceaseless energy arising, which is the primordial radiance. It arises both out of the heart and out of the ground, and that is the natural path of experiencing the radiance with as everything and anything. Thank you so much. And your companion?
I was really aware in myself initially the push and pull of the energy as we entered in together. And then you said baby gnosis, and you just, and I just felt this sweet softening and opening that just rose in my heart and opened, and I felt this expansiveness of my heart and entering into the one heart, just opening and opening. And where the big shift was as you, when we passed through the sort of touching, and as that, there was just an instant sort of I'm feeling into it right now. It's this, just this soft, luminous light that, but also with it, with a lot of force to it, is what I experienced.
Do you like living in that spot?
I really do. Yeah, and the whole world, just the whole room, just completely opened.
Do you feel how witness consciousness isn't there for you at this moment?
I can feel how it enters in this, and I get the paranoia piece of that, the vigilance aspect of that,
And the objectification.
yeah, and the real shift when there's just a complete drop and opening. Mm-hmm.
The very objectification of witness consciousness starts to foreclose for us, maybe not apparitional visions, but it does foreclose for us appearances as process, as nothingness manifesting as light forms. It simply stops that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Let's pass it over to the two people over here. These two people. Dawn's going to be going away for a month to Florida. And just very briefly describe your experience, and then we'll see what's happening with people on the Zoom, the Zoomers.
Okay. Was it there was almost a volcano of energy that was going on between us. There was it started with a lot of light, and then there were a lot of vortexes, and it just I think you should go inside, go into someone's heart. Did you say that?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I heard that. And I just felt like a conjoining, an extension, a resonance, that we were just sort of one. And it was very
What was it
supportive.
like to be in the oneness? Just pause. What was it like to be in oneness with that person, or non-duality with that person, and yet still you? You, and oneness. What's it like to be there?
It was blissful. I felt like I could stay there a long time.
Do you like staying there a long time?
Yes,
Do you like integrating your mind into meditation?
yes, I do.
Do you like integrating your circumstances into meditation?
Yes, I do.
It's really necessary.
It's helpful, very helpful.
It's really helpful to
Yeah.
integrate everything.
And during the meditation, it made me feel much more powerful just doing it.
You feel there's a
So much
power.
energy coming in. Yeah,
The word, it is an empowerment.
it is an
It
empowerment.
is the natural empowerment.
Yes.
It's something called the dynamic power of awareness empowerment. This is the natural empowerment. Great. And your companion?
So Dawn's companion. So what comes to me in regarding my experience with Dawn is that it was like we each were holding each other like in a cartoon sense of a holding environment. And there was this point where it was like we were both holding each other, though we actually were more like one.
Yes.
And that was
simultaneously.
But I had to say that before that, kind of during the talk, what happened to me was that I actually got a headache in my third eye, and this whole kind of, I was working so hard to integrate my mind that at the end, it kind of spoiled the experience. So,
did you integrate the spoiling of the experience?
I tried to.
What was it like to try to integrate that part, that manifestation of primordial awareness?
It's a little foreign language to me, the whole integrating the mind into awareness, because sometimes it kind of spontaneously happens that it just
happens.
I had these experiences that come out of nowhere, and suddenly something comes with it, and it is like my mind has been pulled into awareness. And then if I try to do it on command, I become totally locked in a super witness consciousness.
You locked into witness consciousness.
Yes. Yeah.
Then let me ask you this: do you love when it happens?
Yeah, it's more it's like my beingness is totally integrated within me and also with the bigger being.
And you feel love of the event when your mind merges into your heart. You feel love of that event.
It becomes a little too, I don't know, has a little bit of a too descriptive quality to me.
Too what?
It's too descriptive, mechanical. It becomes like Freud's different structural theories that suddenly it's so descriptive that it kind of
Then
becomes
think of it this
harder.
way.
Yeah.
There's a way in that text that skillful means and gnosis are the same. This is for everybody. When practicing the Vajra, skillful means and gnosis are the same. You should forget about the word skillful means. We've been practicing learning how to do the Vajrakalaya. If you think the Vajrakalaya is holding a dagger in your hand, swinging it around, or shouting pet at everything that moves, you're going to be in an objectified state. So the dilemma of being skillful in a non-objectifying way is a real dilemma. The dilemma of being in awareness and being skillful in a non-objectified way. So the paradox is, how can I de-objectify these skillful means that is simply a manifestation of awareness? That is the essential challenge. Say yes if you understand that. How can I de-objectify the skillful means? Because every time I objectify skillful means, even if it's a mantra, the mantra is then other than my awareness. And the more I try with skillful means, the more objectification will reign. Or to say it another way, the superego comes back, right? And takes us. So we have one more share. Let me see if we have this other couple share. Let's see, right over there. And there'll be a last one. Yep. And then we'll do a group.
this last conversation is speaking very much to my experience. The experience has been and is one of this, like being in this pervasive sea of love, and that there are just different waves that come, like when you were talking about integrating the mind into awareness, Rudy. The way I conceptualize that is like there are these waves that come that sometimes have more the quality of mind than the quality of that pervasive, primordial experience of light. And what I'm gleaning today is like a deeper understanding of how to integrate that, because I'll have this experience of just, being in this incredible sea of love with Kanu. It's just like vast and delicious and joyous and blissful. And then all of a sudden there'll be this wave that comes that is very mental, extremely mental, like figuring it out. And so should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? Sorry. It's so much of where I go.
Are you there now?
Not as I'm laughing, no, not in the least. Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Thank you all for laughing with me. Oh, it's the best. It's just the best. I just want to be here always.
Can you integrate us into that place with you?
Mm.
Are you doing that already?
Mm. Well, you are there, absolutely. That's part of the joy. That's it. It's like this, the utter sweetness in the joy is the presence.
What's it like to know that this capacity is being given to you?
Mm.
Sometimes they call it grace. What's it like to feel the givenness of it?
It's like magic. It's true magic. It's like, my deepest longing being fulfilled right now.
Let's hear your companion, because it's so great to have companions, isn't it?
It's the best.
I think the sea of love describes it really well. I felt like I was in a big sea, and the perception of you kept getting more and more dissolved, and I was watching 4 eyes, not 2, and then I just got captivated in the 4 eyes, and seeing that sort of like the field and the objects were like there was like space, but there were objects in the space, but it was the space that I was in, not with the objects.
What is that? That's
It's a real perceptual shift. Yeah.
What's that? Could you describe what's that perception of space within and through the objects? Just a little bit more. Put in words and we'll all experience it and have that capacity. What's it like, that experience? Perception with and through the objects.
I'm trying to get myself in the seeing it again, and there was not the same kind of light in the room. There was more of a one radiance.
One radiance.
Rather than like where you can distinguish very clearly. So the whole light of the room changed.
There was only one awareness at that moment.
Yeah. really, truly, and it stayed. I wasn't in my mind. I was just totally in that perception, and I could feel energy coming through me at different points. And the main thing was just seeing these four eyes, you know. They just, like, it like just went like across. Like my, and then it, and everything was just more like a Dali thing, where you know, like a Salvador Dali painting, where things kind of go, and it's like in not color, but sort of color, but aura more than color.
More like radiance?
More like radiance, more like radiance. Yeah, and I think a lot of that happened because of being with Marla, because I could just melt into her, like really feel oneness. I feel like sometimes we are one mind, you know. I have such love for her, and like, you know, the things she says and the wisdom that she is. And so it's just like sort of, you know, it's not like, it's easy not to be separate.
Thank you so much. And we're just going to see what happens to our friends on Zoom. Can you switch the little things on? So how are you guys doing? Anybody want to share anything? Can you press?
They have to press it, yeah. Just unmute. And
How are you guys doing with the experience today? Yes, Kathy?
Yeah, just wonderful. I had kind of an opening experience just going to a happy hour last night in terms of a group, and then I just felt like I kind of brought that energy into here, and then I get sort of the intellectual piece, and then just working with Steve was just a sense of happiness and motion and joy. That was.
So you can work with each other there. You can pair.
Yes.
Okay, you can do that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So it was really.
Did you leave witness consciousness? Did you feel witness consciousness disappearing for you?
Yeah. In fact, I didn't really have it too much today to begin with, which made it easier. But then it just gone. You know. So it was really lovely.
Thank you. And Steve, what was it like for?
It was great. I was really working on getting the mind down into the whole being and experiencing everyone and everything as one. And then at that moment, Kathy private messaged me, and it was like, I have to use skillful means now. How do I do this? How do I handle this? And so I thought, okay, this is a great opportunity to really be in the field and really not separating and going to an intellectual place, but just okay, I know how to do this. And I did, and I answered you, and we worked together, and it was great. I mean, it was a really, it was a very, very practical experience for me of how to do this, of how to be in the field, but doing something very specific and technical that I really don't know how to do.
Yes. Without it being skillful means, what separates us from awareness. Without it being the idea, the concept of skillful means.
It's not separate from awareness.
It's not separate from awareness, yes.
Awareness.
Perfect.
It's part of awareness.
It is part of awareness itself. Thank you. Would somebody else like to share one more? And then we're going to end up. Anybody else? Okay, anybody else want to share anything? And we'll end up now. Anybody else want to share anything today? Yes, please.
I'm going to do something that I haven't done in 26 years in this room. I'm going to tell a story that happened 30 years ago. It's short. I had just received a huge awakening in my life of awareness through the tradition I was practicing in. And I was working in a restaurant. The kitchen was funky. They never cleaned it. You go back in the kitchen, it was stinky. The trademark of this restaurant was large portions of food. All the plates were at least a third larger So, well, you'd be among the minority that could finish. So you'd go back in the kitchen, and there were vats of stinking garbage back there because there was so much wasted food. So it was the smell. It was the notion that food was wasted. So to go back in the kitchen was nonetheless challenging. So I would get in touch back and forth with this awakening that had happened a few weeks before. And I was back in the kitchen, and I was staring at the stinking garbage, and I was dumping food, and I went into it again. I went into total ecstasy. And that's when I knew something had happened to me. So it was way beyond. It was a really profound integration.
Thank you so much. Let's just hold awareness before we end up today for a few moments. Thank you so much. Let's focus in. We can thank our companions being with us. And let's focus in. And we can think of that description where we began, being in a meditation, ending meditation, without integrating anything whatsoever. And that natural split that can take place between meditative awareness and our mind, and between meditative awareness and the world itself. With that understanding, we'll rub our hands together and we'll seal, but not too tightly. Thank you, guys, and we'll meet again next week. We're still waiting to hear about is Tai Sito coming on May 3rd. The wheels are in motion, and he's waiting to get permission from India. So we'll see what happens. That'll be May 3rd. See you later. Thank you so much. Maybe sometime you bring Zoom with you and you zoom in and you tell them to play. They want to make sure. can just say you're a meditation. But if you don't mind watching it. It's like a bad tooth sometimes. They scrape this stuff. They put it on. That's good. Not a big deal. Right. So you have to go through it. That's not good.
Hey, a couple things. 22 years. 95,000 each time I come down here. I'm thinking about, wanting to take more, flexibility. And when I come, I think probably doing it something to do with it for some reason all the time.
However you want to do it.
Okay. All right. Okay. But I want you to know that, I'm here all the time.
No, I know. I love you doing here. Just stay home if you want to. However you want to do it. You don't have to pay.
Oh, no, I want to pay.
No. You only pay when you come here.
Second thing is, I was thinking about maybe having a time or two by myself.
On a Wednesday sometime.
When I talking to on Saturday, and helping her hold heal in the lives of brothers. Great, yeah. And so I want to understand this distribution with my daughter, Rachel.
Let's do that.
And I want to know how to respond. Outside of any form of relationship,
all the skills.
I want to be able to understand, first of all, let's do
that. And maybe sometimes you might even talk about it in here. So one time when you come again, which could be your next time. We're not talking about your daughter, but we're talking about borderline states in light of the field. As a field phenomenon, that's very particular. Let's do that, okay? Let's be okay. It's worthwhile for you to stay here for that discussion. And so you let me know if it's next week, great. If it's not, whenever you come in, I want to know before, and I want to prepare my little talk.
Final things for today is you talked about the fixateness of the mind and all the habituation and the compulsiveness of the mind where a lot of the suffering takes place. Then you say, don't fool yourself into thinking that's the only place the suffering exists. That at the archetypical level, there is
Absolutely.
negative force.
Absolutely.
And what I want to know, I guess, is what a question I want to ask you is, what about, how does that manifest itself? How does that evil force that's usually archetypical level manifest itself within human beings, within the world?
Okay, you're going to write me an email, and I'm going to answer that at the next session. I love these questions. They're smart. I love the questions. You email me that, and I'll answer that the next question, the next Wednesday, and then you. But I want you to hear for the DT thing.
Okay. All right.
Because of the energy. Okay. I love it. Now I've said that email to Kathy, and I'm putting a new website together. This is more user friendly. This is so old anyway. And I said I only want one person's name to refer people to. And I send out an email with a new website. People who want to meditate in the group, in your group. But I'd rather give them 3 names. And we just give them Kathy's name. Okay? She works at home. And she's not have the same busy. She's busy, but she's not the same. So that's the name I'm going to put on there. I also said to her, I think whatever you guys do is fine with me, because I don't really care. But one thing is, I'm saying you might start getting more people. If you're getting more people, it's tricky. So one thing you want people when I send you their names, you're going to have them tell them a little bit about themselves, their meditation practices and stuff like that. It's very simple. That's going to wipe a lot of people out already who just with wires. You with me?
We've actually had a couple of people who come in from New York, a couple of people, and they come in with samples. And of course, the group is, I can't tell you how powerful.
No, it's very powerful.
Very powerful group. But we invite people in, we want them to
But we don't care.
Right.
We do not care if anyone else comes on.
Yeah, right.
You have to be free of wanting anybody. But you want to, when people come in, especially if they're not from start happening with the new thing. You're going to ask if it's okay with you. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, your meditation experience. And then you get more of a commitment for those who are not just rolling with it. Number two, once they're on, if they decide you want people to come on a regular basis or not a regular basis, it depends how you guys want to do that. That's just a decision thing you might want to think about. I have no prejudice either way. I never cared whether people came on or not on a regular basis.
Well, our feeling is we wanted, there were two things. Come on a regular basis and leave. And
Okay.
share from you.
Okay.
This month we have 17 people.
Fantastic.
17.
Isn't that great? That is so great.
I just can't tell you how wonderful
We're gonna. That's even if we more people coming.
Yeah, but that's okay. We can handle
However you guys
But-
want to do it.
but What we're finding is like people coming and they sort of surf themselves out.
Right.
And people don't come because they feel that they feel either the prompt of either they either part of it on a regular basis or not. And when they're not, they leave it.
All this is destiny.
Yeah.
This is actually typical destiny. Destiny. But
I know.
I trust that completely. You just trust it completely. You know?
I think the timing of all this has just been so great. And people who would like, even myself, have been sort of either sideways or just come forward.
That's
Not
what we
just
want.
with the leading, but with the sharing with you.
No,
This
this is great. This is great. I love you. I think we're going to get 27 more people. I think I'm going to start coming. But I'm just going to give one person's name to everybody.
No, that's fine. That's fine. And the other thing you said, sir, you have to really have the face.
Let's face it when you face it.
When you face it, that's what we've decided to do. Because otherwise we had this.
But it's a powerful working group.
And
At 30, no, Alama was on it at one time. There's typically the Dzogchen groups have 30 people. You with me? Someone like Namche Noble can have 200. But even in his telecast, he might have 200 people. You with me? There's something about the closeness that makes all the difference in the world. And everybody there is individuals, and it's not a group mind experience.
That's exactly right. Yes.
That we love so much.
Yes, and it's relational, like you said, it's community, but it is personal, and yet it's particular, and yet it's
Sometimes I see people after 12 o'clock. Other people I see at 12. Okay. You can let me know when you're coming ahead of time, and then I will schedule when you. Because you have to, 2 weeks they have one time, and then I'll tell them it's really good job. And you focus on GP. I love having you here, and I love how it's happening to everybody. I love the new time. Thank you. You're doing perfect. Thanks. We'll miss you, but you're present, you know.
I am. I'll be right there with you.
Let me turn off this machine here.